Alright, guys, I hope everyone is well. We are going to talk in this lesson about your daily routine. So, this kind of continues from the goal setting session where we spoke about, you writing down things and talking about, you know, long term, short term, main goals, daily habits, things like that. And I think it's just important to talk about what your daily routine is going to be because daily habits are very, very important. And I think it's worthwhile that you guys print this off and you fill this in. Just literally as this. And again, guys, this is your personal business, this is your life. You need to get personal with this, but obviously understand that the reason we're looking at this and doing this is to build up on our daily habits, because building up on daily habits is going to help us achieve our goals, because it is taking accountability and action to make ourselves better at what we do. One thing I would say to keep you guys motivated and disciplined is that how do you learn how to ride a bike? You were taught obviously to learn how to ride a bike, but you have to learn at some point to ride a bike. How did you get good at the job that you're in currently right now? Well, because you started somewhere, you learnt it, and you ended up being really good at it. How did you learn how to speak English or wherever you're from? And how did you learn to speak your language? Well, you learnt it when you was a young child. You had to pick it up and you had to learn it. It took about a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and you ended up picking it up really well. Okay, to learn things, you have to start somewhere. So wherever you are in your trading career right now, you are starting somewhere. And where you're going to be by the time you get to your long term goal is financially free. And that's what you need to do to keep working, okay? You're not going to give up. You're going to keep pushing, okay? You're just going to learn it like you learnt the last thing you got really good at. I'm sure there are a few of you here that play video games and Call of Duty Warzone and things like that, and I bet you're all unbelievable at them type of games. And if you are, it's because you've put in the hours and the sacrifice and the graft. It's just the same with this, guys. This is what you're going to do. And something to help you improve and do it and make it happen is about your daily routine, guys. So this is what we're going to talk about in this lesson. And let's start it off with, what are you doing on a daily basis and when? So obviously I know whatever you've got on in terms of jobs, commitments, things like that are obviously going to have to stay the same for the interim. And that's okay. We can try and work around that. But just try and think about what you're doing on a daily basis and when. And try and think of what you're going to do. Fill it in as if this is going to be your new goals and things like that, or your new daily habits. So are you waking up and are you reading once a day? Are you reading a chapter of a book once a day? Are you jumping into a cold plunge every day? Little things like that is what you need to consider. Okay, so what are you doing on a daily basis and when? What time do you wake up and go to bed? Now this is important, guys. This is important because when you wake up has a very big effect on your day. Now, for me, I like to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have a lot to do because I want to be at the charts ready for 7:30 in the morning GMT time, ready for the London session. And I've also got other types of admin that I need to do. For example, taking children to childcare and things like that. And I've obviously got to put in when I'm going to exercise as well. So for me, it makes my life easier if I wake up earlier. So I'm up usually 5 o'clock, 5:30, maybe a little bit later on the weekends, but there's less pressure to get all of the things I want to do in for the day. So I'm up typically 5 o'clock every day, and I go to bed ideally around 10 o'clock GMT time. 10:30. We're in bed, and even if we're not quite asleep yet, whether I'm reading or something like that, we are in bed, settled down for the night. It is very important to make sure you're getting 7, 8 hours sleep every single night. Okay, gone are the days where people have, these business people that you've spoken to or heard of in the past have said the reason they got to where they did is because they never slept. Okay, you're going to be focused on a good night's sleep. So I don't know what your situation is, but obviously if you can get yourself to bed earlier, to wake up earlier, or if you're waking up later, going to bed later, whatever you're doing, as long as you get the right amount of sleep. So these are things you need to kind of think about as well, guys. What are the rules for starting your day? So for me, for example, I wake up, I have a cold plunge, I stretch, and I follow an app where I stretch. I do breathing exercises because I feel like meditation is really important. And I've started journaling and reading as well. So I'm doing all of that before anyone in my house is even awake. And once I've done that, I'm ready for the London session. I'm ready for the New York session, whatever I'm doing. And then once I've taken children away to their childcare places, wherever they're going for the day, I then can exercise. And sometimes I'll wake up at 5 and I'll go straight into the gym and I'll do exercise there as well. So, you know, my rules for the day in meaning that I have to take a cold shower or a cold bath, or at least one of those two things. I have to read a chapter of a book. I have to make sure I've done certain things like stretching and things like that as well. And I always read my Trader's Constitution every day, which again, guys, we're going to go over a little bit later on. So, yeah, what are your rules going to be for the start of your day? What are you doing to end your day, prepare for the next day? So journaling is a really powerful thing. I would recommend being accountable for yourself, okay, is going to come very, very powerful when it comes to journaling. I've got templates and things like that I can obviously speak out and give to you guys. So in terms of journaling, just writing down things you're grateful for that happened in the day, things that you're grateful for the next day, and what are your learning opportunities to the day you've had. So what have you learned? Have you taken a trade that didn't go quite well? Have you taken a trade that did go well? Do you want to reflect on that? Did you learn something new every day? And what are you going to do the next day? Have you got key tasks the next day? So it's almost like writing yourself a to-do list, and at the end of the day, making sure you can tick them off and do it. And if you haven't done it, why didn't you do it? It's not necessarily a punishment thing if you haven't done it. Maybe time has just got on the other end of you. Obstacles have come in the way. And this is by obstacles I mean just the form of life. Certain things are going to stop you from doing things every day. For example, I've got two young kids. I've got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and if one of them's up all night, that's going to impact me getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to do it, and it's going to slow my day down, and that's going to potentially set me up for a worse day than I anticipated. But the discipline in my head means that I carry on moving and I work with the tools that have been given to me. So I reflect on that at the end of the day, and I think about what the next day is going to bring me, because tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is a day which is going to bless you with opportunities every single day. Each day is another day on the training ground. Okay, guys, write that down. Each day is another day on the training ground. So very, very important. How many hours will you work on your business every day, and when? So obviously you need a routine in your head. You can't sit there and think, oh, if I have time later, I'll look at the course, or I'll look at my charts or something like that. You need to be committed every day to doing something that is working on your business. So how many hours are you prepared to do? Can you do 2 hours every day? Can you do 1 hour every day? If so, when is that going to be? Is that going to be before you start work? Is it going to be when you get home from work? Realistically, if you're coming home and you're watching TV at the end of the day, could you be using that time studying? I'm not saying, because I hate it when people say you've got time to do these things, and when people are being criticised for having social time with family after a long day at work. Please don't give that up, because that is important. But is there any time in and around that you can potentially work and look at the charts? Is it, if it's not in the evening, is there anything you can do to get yourself up earlier in the morning to do it? Is there a bulk amount of time at the weekend, a Saturday morning, for example, a Sunday morning, or a Sunday evening? So just think about when you're going to give yourself time to work on your business. And again, guys, this is all personal to you. I cannot tell you how to do it, because this is your life, and this is why I'm not filling it in for you. My reasonings and answers are very different to what yours are going to be, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's about how to get the best out of you. Okay, guys? So when will you work on your self-development? So for me personally, again, I read every day, and that's me working on my self-development, because I'm learning, I'm educating. Every day I'm on the charts, I'm educating myself. I've got other mentors that are helping me with other things in life. I've got things going on which is I'm always thinking about my self-development. And I think you should too. I think you should always be thinking every single day, can I do something to better myself? Can I do something to improve myself? Okay, can I learn something new? Can I aim to learn at least one new thing every single day? Okay, so think about when you're going to be able to work on your self-development, guys. And the last one, when will you exercise? Now, I say exercise because that's a very subjective, depending on what you're able and ready to do. I don't know if you exercise every day anyway. I don't know if you haven't even thought about exercising. I don't know you personally enough to make that call. I exercise every day, but exercise can mean a lot of things, guys. It can mean going for a walk. I'm not saying you need to go to the gym and lift heavy weights. I'm not saying you need to go and run 10 kilometers every day. But getting outside, walking, getting fresh air. Take yourself away from the computer. Take yourself away from the charts. Think about getting out, exercising, releasing endorphins, because that's what exercise does. It will then focus you. It will get you focused for the day ahead, or it will get you focused for the next day. So exercise is a very, very powerful tool, guys. And I cannot recommend it enough. A healthy body is a healthy mind. A healthy mind is a strong personal developer. A strong personal developer is going to get financial freedom because they are focused. They are focused on the mission. They are focused on the goals. And that all comes from building a foundation within your daily routines, guys. So this really does cap it up as to what we wanted to talk about in this lesson. But please take daily routines seriously. I would like to realistically see what you guys are doing. So put in the Discord, what are your daily routines? Let's learn from each other, because you might pick up something to do that I could say, oh, actually, I would like to do that. I might be doing something where you think, oh, actually, yeah, I could do that. So the cold showers, for example, that doesn't take any time out of my daily routine because I'm in the shower anyway. I'm showering every single morning and I turn the shower cold for 30 seconds at the end. That is part of my daily routine. And it doesn't take time away from the rest of the stuff I've got to do. So you haven't got to lose hours out of your day to pick up one thing. So just think about what you can do, guys, okay? Think about filling this in. Again, it'll be available for you to print. Fill this out. Take it seriously, okay? And as always, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. And with that, guys, I will see you on the next one.